Why are there so many different Christian groups? Hi, my name is Dr. James Holt, and in 2001 a kind of census was done, and there seemed to be over 33,000 different Christian groups. So how did we get from there to here? To when Jesus and his disciples, when there was perhaps one church, let's go with that, to today when there are probably over 33,000 now because we're 25 years later. How did we get from there to here? So very simplistically, for about the first 1,000 years, there was one church. Well, yeah, let's go with that. There were lots of disagreements, there were lots of schisms, there were all kinds of things that were going on, but essentially there was one church. And then in 1054, something happened known as the Great Schism. And this was the split in the church between the East and the West. So the churches that were headquartered in the East, in Constantinople, and were looked after by the Patriarch of Constantinople, and also the churches in the West, headed by the Bishop of Rome, the Pope. So you have these two groups. And the schism or the split happened because of something called the Filioque, which is a passage or a part of the creed that suggests who the Holy Spirit is. And so in the West, the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son, whereas in the East, he proceeds from the Father, not the Son as well. And so this was a major point of contention. There was also the point of contention as to, well, who's in charge? Is it the Patriarch? Is it the Pope? And so in 1054, the then Pope, Pope Leo, excommunicated the Patriarch of Constantinople and everybody else. And the Patriarch retaliated. So at that point, we have the split within Christianity between, I guess, Roman Catholicism and the Western Church, and then Eastern Orthodox. And then we fast forward about 500 years, just less, and we have the Reformation in the West, where lots of different people became disillusioned with things that were going on within the Catholic Church. And so we had people like Zwingli, Luther, and others. And essentially they protested. They said, this isn't right. We need to change the way things are done. We need to reform the church. The answer was no, let's not do that. And so therefore, that then led to groups that grew up, whether that was Lutheran, whether it was the Church of England, all kinds of things. And then over the last, I guess, 500 or so years, those family of churches have split. And so there's now three main umbrella groups. There's Orthodox, there's Catholic, and there are Protestant. There are groups outside of those that don't fit anything, but that's kind of how